You're listening to the Think Unbroken podcast, where our mission is to give you the tools to heal, overcome the past, get unstuck, and become the hero of your own story. I'm your host, Michael Unbroken, author, speaker, coach, and advocate for adult survivors of childhood trauma. It's our mission to end generational trauma in our lifetime through education and information. Thank you so much for being here, being a member of the Unbroken Nation, and learning how to become unbroken. Please do me a favor. It would mean the world to me if you take 30 seconds, leave a review for the show on iTunes so that other people can find this information, and check out our YouTube channel if you just search Think Unbroken. Thank you for being here. We'll see you in the show. So many of us beat ourselves up because of the mistakes that we make. And I think about this all the time, but it's kind of like this. If you keep beating yourself up because of the mistakes that you make, and you don't change the way that you treat yourself, how can you ever expect your life to be different? And that's one of the really hard realities of this journey, is recognizing that sometimes the very person that is hurting us the most is ourselves. We ruminate about the past so much, we just let it destroy us, the bad things we've done, the mean things we've done, the awful things we've said. And then we think about the future and we go, probably just going to do it again. I'm never going to be good enough. I don't matter. Why should I change? And the truth is that letting go of your mistakes, letting go of your judgments, your shame, the guilt that you carry about choices that you make is really important. And I'm not saying hide from them, because those moments are lesson. You got to learn from that. But what I am saying is, can you leverage and use those experiences to make your life different? I mean, I'll be honest, I've made every mistake that a man can make. I've lied, cheated, stole, broken people, hurt people. I've done things that I probably shouldn't even say on this podcast because they might be illegal. And especially when I was younger, I mean, I stole people's property. I broke into houses. I stole cars. I carried guns. I beat people up. Like I hurt people in friendships and relationships. I held grudges. I've done everything. Right. And I think about it, and it's like, I could sit here and wish, oh man, I wish I would never have done that stuff. Wish I was a different person. I wish that, what my life would be so much different. And the truth is, like, without those experiences, I wouldn't be here with you today. I wouldn't be having these conversations. I wouldn't be living a life that I am happy with, that I love, that I appreciate, that I enjoy. And it's not that, like, there aren't these days that are difficult and hard and like I don't make mistakes, because I promise you I do. But instead, I just simply think about, am I different than yesterday? Did I learn from that mistake? Am I taking the information that I gathered to create a different life? Or am I continuing to repeat the same behavior patterns? Right. And there's some truth in recognizing, like, there is aspect of continuing the same behavioral patterns that is a part of the human experience. And there's probably still work to do around those. But when you acknowledge it and you look at it, it helps you to be able to create and craft a framework to move forward. What's the point of beating yourself up all the time? How does that help your life be better? Now, I don't think that's like an easy thing to process, right? Especially when so many of the ingrained ideas about who we are come from parents and caregivers who reinforce that you should beat yourself up, that you're not good enough, that you don't matter, that you're not important. And not only is that incredibly unfair, but it's heartbreaking, because you do matter, you are important, and your mistakes do not define you. But you have to be willing to let go of that. Like, your biggest fuck up is not your identity. You see this all the time. People who have been in prison for some of the most awful experiences that a person could be in prison for come out on the backside, not only necessarily changed, but trying to make the world better and learning from their mistakes and the decisions that they've made. And to give people those tools and those understandings. I look at my life and so much of that holds true for me where it's like, you name it, I've done it. I will never sit here free of sin. I will never sit here not guilty of doing heinous and unfair and unkind things to people. I mean, I've had to just face the truth in that. Hey, Unbroken Nation, we'll be right back to the show, but I wanted to let you know that you can grab a copy of my first book, Think Unbroken, Understanding and Overcoming Childhood Trauma, for free. If you go to book.thinkunbroken.com, you can download the PDF ebook version of the book and get everything that I know about the baseline of healing trauma for free, downloaded to your email right now. Just go to book.thinkunbroken.com to download your copy of Think Unbroken, Understanding and Overcoming Childhood Trauma for a PDF for your phone. Again, that is book.thinkunbroken.com. And I don't beat myself up about those really bad things that have happened in my life. Instead, I just simply sit with them and I acknowledge them, and I realize one inherent thing that holds true. It's just truth. It's just reality. It is what it is. And I cannot come back from that without sympathy for myself and empathy for myself and grace for myself and a little bit of clarity about the why. And then in return, to give that to those people who I may have impacted as well. I mean, I know I'm going to fuck up again. You're going to fuck up again. It's a part of the journey. This is how it works. But guess what? Every single time that you do, that's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to grow. And your biggest mistake, again, is not who you are. Because if my biggest mistake was who I am, trust me, no one would ever talk to me. No one would read any of the books or listen to this podcast. No one would allow me the amazing opportunity that I have to coach them. Because trust me, if I was my biggest mistake, that's what everyone would see me at. And you have to decide that's not true for you. And you have to decide that you are not that thing. And you have to let go of it. And you have to heal it. You have to put it where it needs to be in your life. There's an opportunity for you to come back from whatever you've done and to give yourself grace and permission to love yourself as you are, as a flawed human being, because you are. We all are, and nobody's fucking perfect. And anyone who you think is, I promise, are not. And it's just about the continuation of every single day, just showing up and trying and doing your best to be the best version of yourself on a day-to-day basis, knowing that it's just about living and you're having a human experience and you're going to falter and have fall downs and breakdowns and mistakes. And chances are you're going to do it again, but you keep learning from that and growing and trying to separate the time between those mistakes. But also there's some things that you'll learn from that you'll never do again. And that's one of the interesting and cool things about the process. But if you beat yourself up every time, if you build your worth around your mistakes, you're in trouble. I'm going to say that again. This is important. If you build your self-worth around your mistakes, you are in trouble. Because where do you go from there? How do you rise from only ever contributing to your own suffering and sorrow? From my experience, you can't. And so you have to be willing to continue to go forward. You have to be willing to address and assess what has happened. Most importantly, you have to be willing to forgive yourself and forgive others around you. And forgiveness is a conversation I've had on this show many times. It's something that I believe to an extent, depending on the circumstance, must be garnered and earned. But forgiveness for yourself is simply just sitting in your truth and saying, I'm imperfect and I'm having a human experience. Just like you, I'm figuring it out one day at a time. So I'm going to challenge you today as you're listening to this or watching this to just let go. Just say, today, can I just exist as me in the present moment, not in the past and not in the future, just be here with myself in the moment that I exist in. I hope this brings you some value, my friends. Losing my voice, as you can tell, I was on like 5 podcasts today. And so, that's part of it. You still have to show up. I still have to do what I say I'm going to do. Still have to hopefully bring some value to you in your life. Do me a favor, please. If you can, go check out thinkunbrokenpodcast.com, or you can go to book.thinkunbroken.com, or you can download Think Unbroken for free. If you want to buy a copy, you're more than welcome to, but it is free, as well as everything else that we create at Think Unbroken. And if you could, if any way we've brought value to your life, do us a favor and go on to iTunes and leave us a review and let us know what you think. And until next time, my friends, be unbroken. I'll see you. Thank you so much for listening to Think Unbroken. Please share this episode with someone who could use it and help us move forward in our mission of ending generational trauma in our lifetime. And if you would, please take 5 seconds to pop on iTunes or Spotify, hit that 5-star, leave a review, and you can also reach out to us on social at Michael Unbroken or at Think Unbroken. And of course, you can check out our YouTube channel at Think Unbroken. Thank you for being a part of Unbroken Nation, my friends, and until next time, be unbroken.